Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Dave's Gapping with his brand new wedges. So you see by the title, brand new clubs, no idea how to use them. And Dave does know how to use them really, but what we're doing, well it is true actually. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get Dave's Gapping. You'll see last week we used Dave's 52 degree. We've got 3 different positions when Dave's pitching to be able to get consistency. We saw last week with his 52, 9 o'clock swing went 45 yards carry, his 10 o'clock swing went 65 and his 11 o'clock went 85. So a 20-yard gap from only a small movement, but we've got a little bit more pace in that swing. So it's a nice brisk motion. It gets the ball launching lower with more spin, and that's why, this is where we've seen Dave obviously improve his handicap over the last year. We are now with his 56, and we're going to see if this fills the gaps. So next week we've got Dave's 60, but we might look at his pitching wedge instead and see where that fits in, because the pitching wedge...
And I'm probably never going to be hitting 11 o'clock with me 60 degree if I'm honest.
And the 60 degree is a speciality club, so if you have got one, it might be for certain shots around the green like we discussed when we did Dave's What's in the Bag with the wedges. So we might look at pitching wedge next week and see what that does and how far that goes for Dave. But like Dave's mentioned, we're not hitting full shots, we're trying to control these wedges. If you watch tour players hit wedges, they're launching them low with lots of spin and a lot more control. Comment below if you're somebody who likes to see your wedges go high. If you are, how consistent are you? We're going to talk a little bit about tour averages from this kind of distance and then put it back to your handicap. But Dave's straight in here on the Golf Zone Simulator. He's going to be doing 5 shots at each position. I'm going to see the average. So 9 o'clock averages here on the screen now. You'll see carrying average was 30 and going to 35. So stopping within 5 yards, and that's a good number. That fits in. It's around about 15 yards shorter carry than the 9 o'clock with the 52. So it gives us that little bit of gap in. Now it'll be very interesting to see what Dave does at 10 o'clock. So we can see at 10 o'clock, very consistent for Dave. 1 miss hit right at the end, which carried 10 yards less. So we're going to give Dave the carry of 50 yards here, going to around about 55. So it's stopping in 5 yards, so nice and controlled. If we compare that to last week to the Dave's 52, we will see that this will get him a little bit further carry, 5 yards further carry. So he might need something like this if he's going over a bunker. If he was maybe doing a shot where he's got a bit of green to work with, he might go in lower with his 52, but now he's certainly got options. But if we talk about tour averages at the 2 yardages that we've got, we'll start to see what you should be expecting as a mid-handicap golfer. So if we're talking tour averages for those distances, from 30 yards, a lot of people will be expecting to hit it within 6 feet, probably, or 5 feet, or just a tap in. The tour average is 11 feet from 30 yards, which Dave is obviously surprised at with turning around out of his practice.
I am.
And from 50 yards, which is Dave's carry for his 10 o'clock position, it is actually 15 feet is the tour average. So you've got to think, from a lot of people stand at 100 yards, a lot of mid-handicap golfers stand from 100 yards and say, well, if this is outside 10 feet, I'm going to be quite disappointed. Yeah. Look at that, from 30 yards, the tour average is outside of 10 feet. So be realistic with that. But if you know these numbers, Dave was very consistent there. If he knows he's got a 50-55 yard shot, he's positive that he can get it to that distance with this club. He knows which position, and as long as he then controls the club face and gets it going in the right direction, we're potentially going to be there or thereabouts. But getting on the green, anything inside 30 feet for a mid-handicap golfer is a good golf shot.
But we don't realise that. We don't keep that in our mind because nobody's ever really told us that, and we don't look on the internet and find out.
And that's it, and they never tell you online, they never show you on the PGA Tour, because they always show you the good shots. But be aware, don't beat yourself up. You need to think about what a tour average is. If you just think about that one only, 30 yards on average is 11 feet. You'll be very surprised, and you'll not obviously, well, you'll have a lot more confidence in yourself when you chip one close. But Dave's going to go to his final position now, so 11 o'clock, and we'll see what this gives us. So we can see that on the average on the screen, 72 yards carry, 78 total, so that fits in perfect. We know the previous 10 o'clock swing with the 52 did go around about 65, so again we've got another option in there for Dave. If we've got to go a little bit higher, we know with this swing he has got that option. So good for Dave to get his numbers with the 56. We've now got the 56, we've now got the 52, so Dave's got a lot of numbers there, a nice grid, so he can be confident. We've got a lot of options when Dave's pitching into the green.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have many options. We are going to go pitching wedge now, so that will be on next week. Let's start to see how the furthest one of that goes. We might even add in a full shot with that, because that's a club where when we get to pitching wedge, we're probably going to go wider stance. We're going to hit a full pitching wedge on some occasions. So we will be getting more numbers with the pitching wedge, and Dave will be really improving his game in that area, because a lot of people don't improve this area of the game. They get the driving a little bit better. They sometimes miss hit a few irons. They leave themselves those awkward distances. And although they're improving, they're never getting close enough to the hole to have a chance. But remember your tour averages.
I think a lot of the time you've got to keep in your mind that golfers of our handicap, our level, we should be thinking about putting it on the green somewhere where we're definitely not going to 3-putt, and we might get a 1-putt, but chances are you're going to 2-putt.
Yeah, and that's it. You're more than likely to 2-putt if you're inside 30 feet. So even inside 30 feet, don't always try and play that great shot, that great pitch shot. It has to be inside 10 feet. We know 30 yards, 11 feet is the tour average. So that's the note we're going to leave you on, and we'll see you again later in the week.
See you next week.